Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present about autocratic leadership. Firstly, let me introduce all of my group members. My name is Mohammad Aimullah bin Zaini.
Hello, my name is Nurizzatul Nabila binti Abdul Halim.
My name is Syahira binti Mohammad Sandi.
Hi, my name is Mohammad Najmi bin Latib.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Shariel bin Mohammad.
Hello, my name is Leliana binti Mohd.
My name Nurul Hashima binti Salama.
Leadership autocratic. Autocratic leadership, also known as authoritarian leadership. This leadership style characterized by individual control all over the decision and little input from the group members. Autocratic leaders typically make choices based on their ideas and judgment and rarely accept advice for the followers. Authoritarian style is most useful because can depends on factors such as the situation, types of tasks of the group is working on, and characteristic of the team members. If you tend to utilize this type of leadership with a group, you will learning more about your style and the situation in which this style is the most effective can be helpful.
Definition of autocratic leadership is a management style in which individual control, makes all decisions, defines what objective must be achieved, leads and control all activities with little input from group members. Autocratic leaders make decisions based on their own ideas and opinions and do not ask for advice or input from others.
Let's continue to the characteristic of leadership, autocratic. There are some of the key characteristics of leadership, autocratic, which is allows leaders to impose their own work methods and processes. Secondly, leaves group feeling like that aren't trusted with decisions or important tasks. And thirdly, created surroundings that are highly structured and inflexible. And next, about the encourage creativity and unconventional thinking. And lastly, establishes rules which are usually well defined and convenient.
Example of autocratic leadership. First is Leliana Hemsley, dubbed the Queen of Mean by mainstream tabloid in her native US. Leliana Hemsley was regularly recognized for her harsh and authoritarian leadership within the Hemsley hotel empire. Undeniably strict in her management of the company, the ex-real estate broker directly controlled 23 hotels in her husband's chain by the beginning of 1989. Second is Elon Musk. A dogmatic and controversial leader, Elon Musk is one of the most influential CEOs and entrepreneurs in the world today, having exercised an autocratic leadership style at each of his various enterprises, including car manufacturers Tesla and space exploration agency SpaceX. He has regularly overseen prosperity and success. Third is Howard Raines. As executive editor of the New York Times from 2001-2003, Howard Raines was intent on utilizing the newspaper budget and resources as fully as possible to cover what he felt were the most critical stories of the time. He referred to this approach as flooding the zone. Indeed, in an industry where tight deadline and high standard and defining feature, Raines' autocratic leadership style seemed the perfect fit, if not among employees, then certainly with readers. Next is Martha Stewart. One of the top female CEOs in living history, Martha Stewart is a leader who has utilized her keen sense of detail to build her business into the hugely influential conglomerate that it is today. Perhaps as a result of her detail-oriented personality, Stewart has often taken on a more authoritarian and meticulous style in regards to manage her company, making her an excellent example of autocratic leadership. Lastly is Donald Trump. choosing to have all the power of the Trump organization resting on his own and a very limited selection of others' shoulder. Donald Trump is the key decision maker for his eponymous conglomerate, or at least was prior to his current obligation. Despite, like Leona Hemsley, demanding his standard from his employees, he also offers high salaries as an incentive, with many employees claiming his management style was strict but fair. Interestingly, in his current role as US President, Trump has had to temper certain aspects of his autocratic tendencies, reliant as a position is on compromise with the country governing houses. This is proof in itself that different circumstances and different environments require you to be flexible in your leadership approach, and that for those who can adapt quickly, there is plenty of success to be found.
List of the advantage of autocratic leadership. First, it allows for fast decisions to be made. When there is an autocratic leadership established with an organization, there are fewer levels of administration that must be kept informed of each decision. There is also less feedback from various levels of management which must be processed. This is because there is one person and they are in charge of all arrangement. 2. It improves overall communication. When there are multiple levels of leadership within an organization, a command from the top becomes like a childhood game of telephone. Each level of management can purposely put their own spin on the communication come from the leadership. By the time the information reaches the frontline employees doing most of the work, the entire original message could be lost. Autocratic leadership eliminates this issue because the command goes straight to the workers involved. 3. It improves productivity. Because autocratic leadership are able to move information throughout an organization quickly, there are fewer delays in productivity. Workers are less likely to stop their project or ask for later deadlines because they receive timely decision and communication from their leadership. That creates a positive impact on the work environment, which leads to more accurate work and consistent production. 4. It handles crisis situation effectively. Autocratic leaders are able to handle a crisis situation easily because they are the ones who are in charge. 5. It reduces employer stress. Although an autocratic leader can have a challenging personality, most employers prefer to work in an environment where there are clear expectations set for them. Even workers who like to explore creative solutions don't mind an autocratic leader when they are allowed to pitch new ideas or offer an alternative decision based on their personal experience. At the end of the day, the autocratic leader is like the captain of a ship. Every decision is a weight on their shoulder and they are ultimately responsible for what happens. And the last one is it counters team inexperience. If an autocratic leader is put in charge of an inexperienced team, they'll be able to get the job done by outlining specific instruction to follow. List of the disadvantage of autocratic leadership. First, it often leads to micromanagement because it is the autocratic leader's reputation on the line, not the workers doing the job. Those in this type of position tend to supervise every small detail of the work being done. Many autocratic leaders turn into severe micromanagers, making it difficult for workers to do their job because they are always forced to report on what they are doing at any given moment. When this happens, productivity levels tend to decrease over time instead of increase. Second, it does not offer a sense of professional ownership. Autocratic leaders are in charge and they make this fact known. They get to take all the credit for the work that gets done. That means workers tend to not take ownership of the work they do because there is no incentive to do so. They won't get blamed if it fails and they won't get credit if it succeeds. 3. It creates a work culture based on the leader. When an autocratic leader is consistent with their ethic and is determined to create a fair working environment, then there can be a lot of positive for workers in a company. If the leader offers questionable ethic, however, and refuses to create fairness, then there is no one who can really hold that person accountable. The work culture is based solely on the ethic and morality of the leader, which means a poor working environment is not likely to change. 4. It creates a system of dependence. Workers are forced to rely on the autocratic leader for all their feedback, instruction, and work duties. If they face a decision in the work they are doing, they are almost forced to go to the leader for advice on what to do instead of making the decision on their own. And the last one, it creates a lack of trust. What leads to a successful working relationship is an ability of workers to have trust in their leaders and vice versa. The foundation of the autocratic leadership style is one built on mistrust. Leaders must assume that their workers are not performing as they should, which requires their direct supervision to ensure results happen.
Autocratic leadership can be effective in small groups where leadership is lacking. A strong leader with an autocratic style may control the group, assign responsibilities to various members, and establish solid deadlines for projects to be complete. When one person is assigned the role of leader or simply takes up the job on their own, this type of group projects tend to be performed better. The group is mostly likely to finish the project on time and with everyone contributing equally if defined roles, assigning tasks, and deadlines are established.
For our conclusion, autocratic management is one of the types of management which is used in business and organizations all over the world. Autocratic management isn't considered as favorable approach in modern day leadership, but it can still be seen in practice and is a widely discussed leadership model. It is also one of the accepted types of management. Autocratic leadership will be helpful in situations where a business faces constant change or a crisis. It will be able to react to the situation promptly compared to other leadership styles because of streamlined organizational structure and quick decision-making ability.